Hi, my name is Alex Williams. I'm the founder of the online animation school Animation Apprentice, head of animation at Escape Studios, and I run the online MA in 3D animation at Bucks New University. And one of the most common reasons why I find that student animators don't apply for jobs is because they will say that their demo reel isn't ready. And this can be a source of frustration because often I will get jobs that come into me because I run animation schools. Employers know that, so they will come to me and they say, have you got any recent graduates you can recommend? And to which I was enthusiastically reply, yes, absolutely. And so what I do is I post the detail of the job at the Animation Apprentice website, and also at some of the Facebook classrooms for recent graduates at Bucks and also Escape Studios. And this is a win-win for everyone, right? The company gets rising talent, recent graduates get jobs, everybody's a winner. But sometimes what happens, and this happens more often than you might think, I'll post a job at the site, and then 2 weeks later the company will come, or a week later the company will come back to me and say, hey, were none of your students interested in the job? And I will realize nobody applied. And then so I'll post it again. I'll say, okay guys, can you please apply for this? And I'll start emailing people individually, and I'll say, hey, did you apply for this job? And they'll go no. And then I'll go, why not? And they'll say, well, my demo reel wasn't ready. And at this point I start to realize that all this focus on demo reels and making your demo reel really good can be a kind of block to actually finding work. Because the reality is that in order to find work in the animation industry, you have to apply. And anyone who's watched my videos, you'll be familiar with the video I recorded a couple of months ago, which was called the #1 reason why animation graduates don't find work in the animation industry. And the #1 reason is, if you've watched the video, that they don't apply. And there is no better guarantee for not finding work than not applying for work. And that sounds trite and obvious and reductive, but it is true. You've got to apply. And the thing to remember is you lose nothing by applying. So even though my advice to recent graduates is make sure your demo reel is as good as it can be, and that is very good advice, by the way. There's no one who's going to give you different advice to that. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't get out there and apply for work. Because if a company is coming to me and they're saying, we need graduates, we need animators, then that is a really good opportunity to get in the door. They are looking for talent. They are hunting for talent. They've not been able to find talent. That's why they're coming to me. So if you then apply and I can put in a recommendation on your behalf, then that is a really good shot at getting your entry-level job in the industry. So I've got one company at the moment that is desperate for 2D animators, and now they want people who've got experience in Adobe Animate. That's the software that used to be called Flash. And what a number of my students have been saying to me is, well, I don't have a Flash demo reel. Don't let that stop you. Apply anyway. And the reality is that, if you have mastered 3D animation, you're going to be able to use Flash. You're just going to have to learn the interface. So you're going to have to watch some tutorials. You're going to have to do some stuff online. But ultimately, this animation is about timing and spacing and giving a performance. And if you can do that in 3D animation, you can do it in 2D. If you're having to hand draw stuff, it is a little different. That is a different skill set. But there's very few of those jobs around anymore. I mean, that's a relatively narrow area of the animation industry now. Much more common is, the kind of puppet-based or rig-based or vector-based stuff that you find with Adobe Animate or, Toon Boom, Harmony, or Cell Action. And it's kind of digital puppetry. It's a lot like animating in 3D. You're just using different software. So if you're feeling like your demo reel isn't ready, then it doesn't matter. Apply anyway. And by the way, no one's demo reel is ever ready. We're all working on our demo reels. You never stop working on your demo reel. Your demo reel will always be a work in progress. So don't let that get in the way of you applying for a job. If there's a company out there looking for talent, apply anyway. The absolute worst thing that can happen is you don't get the job. And that doesn't matter, because if you don't get the job, you've learned something. What you've learned is that actually, if you don't get the job, what you do is then email them and say, would you mind telling me why I didn't get the job? Would you give me, some tips on how I can do better next time? And employers will respond to that. They will respond. First of all, because hardly anybody does it. And secondly, because they want to help you. And, if somebody's turned you down for work, they probably didn't want to turn you down. They probably, you know, they wanted you to be the right fit, but maybe you just weren't the right fit for that job on that day. And it might be that your reel was great, but that the job fell through, or it might be your reel was great, but they gave it to someone else, or, you know, anything could happen. But it might also be that, you know, there's some stuff they were looking for on your reel that they didn't find there. And now you've learned something useful. Now you've got a path to success the next time around. So even if your demo reel isn't ready, you should always apply anyway. And even if you get rejected, use that as a way of gathering more information on how you can be more successful next time around. You have to keep trying, you have to persist, you mustn't give up, you've got to keep applying for jobs. The number one reason why people don't get jobs is because they don't apply. So how can I help you to become a professional animator? First of all, subscribe to my YouTube channel, get all my free stuff. Secondly, if you want to get started now, sign up for my course on animationapprentice.org, or come study with me at Escape Studios, or sign up for the online MA in 3D animation at Bucks New University.